Good evening. I think it's about time we started. Welcome to this session on vCO with Kaido Kibin from ByteLife presenting on VMware Horizon View Failover using vCO workflows. First of all, we're going to have a short introduction from Jörg Liu, who's from VMware, and what he doesn't know about vCO probably isn't worth knowing. So if I can hand over to Jörg to do his piece. If you're on, Jörg.
Perfect. Yeah, great. Thanks very much. So welcome from my side. My name is Jörg Liu. I'm based out of Germany, and I work for VMware's professional services engineering team. And well, my focus is obviously vCenter Orchestrator and all the automation and integration and all the cool magic that you can do with vCO. So in past, I have done quite a few of these community podcasts on the American edition of the vBrownBag session. So you might already have seen this. If not, I recommend to look through the bunch of recordings. There are quite a few vCO sessions in there already that get you started with vCO. Today, however, I want to, or I invited Yannick and Kaido from ByteLife in Estonia to show you some real-world use cases for vCO. So rather than me presenting some theoretical things about some Hello World workflows you can build with vCO and some tiny little things you can automate in your vCenter, the guys from ByteLife have built some really powerful and great solutions for disaster recovery in VMware View environment, and all that based on vCO. So this will really be, yeah, hopefully an eye-opener for you guys, that you can see the real power of vCO and what you can achieve with vCO. And yeah, with that, it's a pleasure for me to hand it over to Yannick to get started with the presentation. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jörg.
Okay, hello. Actually, my name is Kaido, so I will do the presentation part as well, not Yannick. As Jörg already introduced us, my name is Kaido Kibin, and I'm come from a company called ByteLife, and we are currently one of our areas that we are dealing with is developing solutions based on VMware Orchestrator. And today we would like to introduce you one of our recent developments, or one of the products that we have developed, and this is disaster recovery failover solution for VMware Horizon View. Shortly I will do the presentation and describe this product, how we developed it and how it works. Then I would like to demonstrate you how this solution works. And finally, after the demonstration, we can have some questions from you. So first, the use case. Those who are familiar with VMware View probably already know that VMware View, Horizon View itself lacks of built-in disaster recovery functionality, and it's built to have to work in one data center, to have everything there, and doesn't provide any functionalities or any fully functional functionalities for failing stuff over from one location to another. And one of our customers, private bank in Baltic states, decided about a year ago to switch over fully to VMware Horizon View based virtual desktops. They decided to give up all their physical desktops and change them to 0 clients and to use virtual desktops for the whole banking, starting from bank clerks to the top management. And understandably, as they are bank, they need to protect their environment. And if users are not able to use their desktops, they cannot do their job. So this bank turned to us and asked for the solution how to make VMware View environment more fault tolerant or more high available. They already had 2 data centers in place, and their server infrastructure was already protected with 2 data centers and different clustering solutions. And they wanted to have something similar to for their virtual environment, virtual desktop environment as well. And it turned out that there is no any out-of-the-box ready-to-use solutions available for VMware View environment. And for us, there was no other way than to start to develop our own solution. And we decided to use VMware vCO as a platform because all VMware customers actually have it already in place. Quite many of them actually doesn't even know that they have VMware Orchestrator in place. But all they have it, it's free of charge, already working in their environment. And we decided that let's build our solution on top of the vCO, so no additional license cost for the end customer. So, and our outcome has the following general features. First of all, it protects the whole VMware View desktop environment, which means it covers all kinds of virtual desktops provided by VMware Horizon View. This means full clone desktops and also linked clone desktops. This solution has option to protect even more than 2 sites in most cases, and this particular customer also has only 2 data center, and they switch from one data center to another. But the solution itself is built that way that if more sites are needed, we can support them. It uses active-active approach, which means that both data centers can be online and active at the time. Some of the desktops are running on one data center, another set of desktops can run in another data center. So no active passive, but both data centers can be active at the time. It's fully based on VMware vCenter Orchestrator, which means that no additional external software is needed. So only thing that customer needs is our workflows within their Orchestrator environment. So VMware Site Recovery Manager, for example, which is the most common failover solution provided by the VMware, as it doesn't support VMware View fully, this site recovery manager is not needed. So everything is handled using Orchestrator only. It integrates with the VMware View and doesn't need any administration changes in VMware View. So customers do not need to do anything differently than they have used to do it so far. So all the VMware View administration works as it used to work so far. Our solution has simple protection configuration wizard, so if something changes within the VMware View environment, those changes can be easily configured to the Orchestrator environment using protection wizard. And no additional overhead to the vSphere or Horizon View environment. This solution is rather automating the manual tasks needed to switch from one data center to another, so no additional overhead layer is introduced when using our product. From the functionality perspective, we have two major tasks that our solution provides. First of all is site failover. If one data center fails, failed components, failed view desktops can be powered on and started in another data center, and users can reconnect. And the failover takes only a few minutes. So first users can basically start to log in after, depending on the environment of course, but after 3-4 minutes users are already able to reconnect to desktops in another data center. And another functionality is migration, which can be used when all data centers are up and running. Using migration functionality, view desktops can be switched from one data center to another data center, for example, for load balancing purposes or as a failback after site disaster. And it can be used also for them during the maintenance activities. For example, if there is need to recompose large amount or big amount of virtual desktops in one site, all users can be switched from one site to another site. Maintenance jobs can be done in this empty site, and after that users can be switched from second site back to the original site, and they can already use new desktops provisioned. As I already mentioned, the all component that is needed is VMware Orchestrator. So vCO is handling the whole environment. And Horizon View environment consists of 3 major components. First of all, VMware vSphere, vCenter servers, and the AS6 server clusters. Then view environment, view connection servers, and finally storage, because desktops are stored on the storage, and in some cases, depending on the desktop type, storage switchover is needed. So Orchestrator is communicating with all components. With the vSphere, we are using vSphere API for communication as communication interface. With view connection servers, we are communicating directly to view database. We are using LDIF interface to change view configuration in view database, and we are using some connectivity protocols to communicate with storage arrays. Our very first version currently available supports EMC storage, more particularly EMC VNX storage arrays. And the communication interface to those VNX storage arrays is navisec CLI. So our vCO is issuing command line commands against the storage arrays to change the storage behavior. But other storage vendors can be easily added. Only thing that it's required is that the storage array must have either API for communication or command line interface. So if storage array can be programmatically managed, then adding new storage functionalities is relatively easy. In each site there must be vCO instance running. We support both options, either to use vCO appliance, Linux-based vCO appliance, or Windows-based Orchestrator that's installed into the vCenter usually. Both of them are, from the functionality perspective, equal, so our workflows support both of them. And we have developed our own communication interface, SOAP protocol-based communication interface between vCO appliances. So all the vCO instances are exchanging configuration information and also workload between each other over the SOAP-based interface. And from the administrator perspective, only tool that administrator must have is vCO client. vCO client can be downloaded directly from the vCO server or can be locally installed to the administrator's workstation. And all the manipulation of this environment is done through the vCO client. Shortly about VMware View setup as well. So components that we will protect with our solution are actually desktops. We are not switching over infrastructure components from one site to another. There are local dedicated vSphere environments in each site, local vCenter server, local ASIC servers. There are also local View connection servers available in each site. And we are switching virtual desktops from one View environment to another View environment. And we are protecting basically three components. We are protecting linked clone desktops. We are protecting full clone desktops. In this slide, those full clone desktops are referred as manual pool or manual desktops. And the third component that our solution protects is VMware Persona server. For those who are a bit more familiar with VMware View, they probably know that Persona server is a very important component in View environment. It contains user data. Its functionality is pretty similar to the Microsoft roaming profiles, and it allows to synchronize user profiles and user data from desktop to central repository. And this central repository is basically Windows-based file server, and user data is replicated from desktops to that file server. And as user data is very important, our solution also protects the Persona server. we are basically switching over persona servers between sites when we are doing failovers. And depending on the components that we will protect, we also need storage replication. For example, for the persona management server and for manual pool desktops or full clone desktops, we need storage replication between storage arrays, and we will switch over the storage LANs from one site to another and making data available in another site. What concerns linked clone desktops are dynamically provisioned out of the one master image, and they are usually not unique. We are actually not switching over linked clone desktops. Instead, we will provide new linked clone desktop in another site, and as persona server is switched over from one site to another, persona server synchronizes user data back to the new desktop. So if user gets new desktop in another site, then persona server synchronizes data back to the user desktop, and desktop looks exactly as the original one. From the desktop perspective, our protection granularity is desktop pool. We are not protecting single desktops. We cannot fail over single desktop from one site to another. We are switching over the whole desktop pool from one site to another. So if users want to have active approach to their VMware View environment, then one pool can run in one site and another desktop pool can run in another site. Okay, so from this point I would like to switch to the demo and demonstrate you how this solution looks like. First, from the vSphere perspective, as VMware View is running on top of the vSphere environment, we have two sites. In this demo, I have two vCenters visible through the vSphere client. Sorry, Update Manager got disconnected. No problem. We don't need Update Manager at the moment. We have vCenter server in one site and vCenter server in another site. And in each site we have vSphere cluster. In my demo environment I only have one single AS6 server in the cluster, but of course in real production environment there are many more AS6 servers, or you can even have multiple clusters if needed. In each site there are infrastructure components. vCenter server, we are running virtual vCenter servers in this environment. And View connection servers, one connection server in site A and another connection server in site B. And currently in this demo environment I have only one persona server, and it currently runs in site A. But if customer doesn't want to use persona over the site link, then actually multiple persona servers can be configured, and there can be local persona servers available in each site. And then we have desktops. We have linked clone desktops running in one site and two desktop pools in site A, and currently one desktop pool in site B. and we have manual or full desktops currently running in site A. So I have three view desktop pools currently running in site A, and one desktop pool currently running in site B. And in this demonstration, I will switch few of them from site A to site B. And as I already mentioned, the only tool that I need to handle this is VMware Orchestrator. So I have VMware Orchestrator client here, and everything that I need to do the site failover is available through that orchestrator. I have two orchestrators actually. One is running in site A and another is running in site B. And currently I'm logged into the orchestrator in site B. But it doesn't matter, as we have developed SOAP-based communication interface between orchestrator appliances. Both orchestrators are sharing the same configuration. So everything can be done from whatever orchestrator instance administrator wants. I can launch all those workflows in site A, or I can launch them also from site B. Doesn't matter, both orchestrators are equal. So this solution consists of multiple workflows. For the ease of use, we have highlighted here some more important orchestrator workflows that administrator needs to do the failover or migration, but in total there are lots of more workflows in this solution. Each workflow does its own sub-task during the migration or failover. There are workflows that exchange data between orchestrators, for example, those workflows here containing SOAP in their name. We have workflows that are communicating with these view connection servers, for example, those containing LDIFTE in their name. And we have workflows that communicate with storage arrays to handle storage switchover from one site to another. And we have lots of workflows that are communicating with vSphere, for example, shutdown virtual machine from vSphere, or shutdown virtual machine group, or start virtual machine, unmount data stores from vSphere environment, register virtual machines back to the vSphere environment, and so on. So the solution is divided into small pieces, and this division gives us quite big flexibility. So if something needs to be done a little bit differently in particular customer environment, for example, customer wants to handle their desktops a little bit differently in their environment, we can do very easily some customizations or adjustments in process and add more steps or skip some steps or change the behavior of those steps. So only with very few adjustments this behavior of the product can be easily changed. And also there are some workflows available for configuration, workflows that specify or configure storage connectivity, specify or configure vSphere connectivity, view connectivity, and so on. And but for the administrator, we have highlighted here 3 major workflows. For example, this protection setup workflow allows to configure changes or introduce changes in view environment. So, for example, if new desktop pools are added to the view environment, this protection setup workflow can be started, and protection for this new desktop pool can be configured through that configuration wizard. I will not bother you at the moment with that protection wizard, how it looks like and how it works. But instead, I would like to do some failover. So for that, we have highlighted start recovery workflow here. And this is the main workflow that starts migration or failover. And I can see that there are many failovers and recoveries, executions succeeded in the environment. So to do the failover, I will start that workflow here. And first, that this simple and robust GUI asks me is what activity would I like to do. And there are 2 major activities available here, migration or failover. And the third activity is status report. This status report is actually pretty simple workflow. It just checks the component availability, pings vCenter servers and view connection servers, and verifies that the storage is up and running. In our case, in my demo environment, my both sites are currently running. So I will choose migration as my activity and click submit. Then workflow starts and checks the environment. If everything okay, tries to communicate with VMware vCenter, tries to communicate with view connection servers, tries to communicate with storage, verifies that everything needed is up and running, and then provides me the GUI, which allows me to choose which components I want to fail over from one site to another. And the first component in the sequence is Persona server. And as you saw from the vSphere client, the Persona server was running in site A. And this wizard provides me ability to migrate it from site A to site B. So let's switch Persona server. So migration, yes, I want to migrate it. And next. Second item in the list is VIP desktop pool, which is linked clone desktop pool. Currently VIP desktops are running in site A, and let's switch them from site A to site B. Next. Then default user pool, default A pool, current location in the site A, and let's skip that pool and let's not migrate it. So I will choose do not migrate and skip that. Default B pool, which is default desktops for the regular users in site B. It currently it's located in site B, and let's skip that one as well. And the final item in my recovery list is manual pool. which contains full provisioned desktops. And these desktops are currently running in site A, and let's switch them also from site A to site B. So next, final confirmation. Do I really want to do that? Because if I continue, my users will be kicked out from their desktops. Desktops are shut down and failed over from or migrated from site A to site B. So yes, I really want to do that, I'm sure, and submit. And my failover or migration starts. So that's all I need to do. So if we switch back to the vSphere client, we can already see that tasks were started in vSphere. First task was that the Persona server was shut down gracefully. Then Persona server was unregistered and the VMFS volume was unmounted. So as you can see, Persona server is gone from this resource pool, and soon, in few minutes, the Persona server should appear under this infrastructure resource pool in site B. As Persona server is located on storage array and we need to manipulate storage array, then this task usually takes a few minutes. So we need to wait a bit until desktops are switched over from desktop is the Persona server virtual machine is switched over from one site to another. During the you can see the storage related activities in the background. So in site B already storage rescan was started, which means that LUN is already switched over from storage array in site A to storage array in site B, and it should be soon made visible to ASIC servers in site B. And we have built our solution that way that each orchestrator handles tasks only locally in its own site. So during the migration, when I switch or start the migration, there are activities done in both sites. In one site, we are shutting down workflows or workload, and in another site, we are bringing desktops on. So we have configured or developed it that way that if there is activities needed to be done in a remote site, then one orchestrator instance passes that workload from to another orchestrator instance, and the second orchestrator is handling the failover. And as you can see, the Persona server is already just appeared to the infrastructure resource pool in site B. And soon it should continue with the VIP desktops. So some of the activities were carried on by orchestrator in one site, and some activities are carried on by orchestrator in another site. So there is no cross-site activities between the orchestrators. Each orchestrator is communicating only components in the local site. Storage array in local site, vCenter in local site, and view environment in local site. So after the Persona server is powered on and available to the users, and as soon as the VMware tools report that they are up and running, our workflow continues and starts to deal with the VIP desktops. And as you can see, desktops are already shut down in site A and should be powered on in site B. So already some desktops are powered on here, and soon desktops will be shut down in here in site A to kick out users. And and desktops were shut down in site A already. So at this moment, VIP users are already able to reconnect to their desktops. So if user now clicks connect in View Client, then he or she receives new desktop in site B and can continue working. And as we can see from the task items we started, it on 21:37 and on 21:43, so after 6 minutes, VIP desktops were powered on and users were able to log back. Usually in case of site failover, it might take even less time, because in case of failover, we don't need to shut down desktops on source site gracefully anymore, because source site is already dead, and we can immediately start to power on stuff in surviving site. So failover usually even takes less time than migration. And now it already handles manual desktops. As you can see, the manual desktops were shut down in site B and in site A, and unregistered in site A, so they are not anymore visible here in site A, and soon they should start to appear here in site B as the workflow continues. So from the Orchestrator home panel, we can actually monitor the activities or which workflows are running in the background to handle the failover. So this view here shows the running workflows. Again, it takes a couple of minutes to switch over manual pool storage from one site to another, change the replication direction, and make the LUNs visible to the vSphere environment, and to register a desktop back to the vSphere. So storage was already unmounted in site A. So after a couple of minutes, when we already, as you can see, it already rescans storage in site B. So soon this manual pool data store should be visible for ASX server in site B, and desktop should be registered back to the vSphere environment. And as you can see, the registration is already working here in the background. So 3 desktops appeared into the vSphere inventory and powered on. And after VMware View recognizes that those desktops are running, then users are able to reconnect with their vSphere client, View clients. And it takes probably and it's already finished. So to finalize the work, pop-up appears here in the view client, indicating that persona server, VIP pool, and manual pool were processed successfully, and that's it. All workflows completed, and items have been switched from one site to another. So that was the demo part. So switching back to the presentation, I have a few more slides here. So to wrap up the presentation, the key aspects to remember is that our solution protects both linked clones and full clone desktops, which are sometimes by non-VMware people referred as persistent and non-persistent desktops. Then it's single tool which simplifies the whole failover process. As you saw, only tool that you needed was vCO client. No additional software needed, no SRM licenses, no any other license software needed. If customer requires, then more than 2 sites can be protected. And it's non-proprietary, means that it's based on fully on vCO workflows, which means that it's easily customizable and adjustable based on customer needs. And finally, to conclude my presentation here, I would like to say to everybody that from the VMware View perspective, disaster recovery is possible. There are tools now available to handle it. And from the VMware Orchestrator perspective, VMware Orchestrator is a very powerful tool that is available for all vSphere customers. And using VMware Orchestrator, very nice tasks can be automated, very complicated tasks can be automated, and very nice solutions can be provided. And if for example, this tool, VMware View disaster recovery tool is used, and when customers are getting familiar with the VMware Orchestrator, then this Orchestrator platform can be expanded further to automate some other activities. For example, to automate also server failovers or automate some user-related activities or whatever activities are needed. So if you have not used the VMware Orchestrator yet, I would recommend you to start familiarizing yourself with the VMware Orchestrator. It's really powerful and nice tool available, and very important is here that it's free of charge. It's available with all vSphere license releases. And that also concludes my presentation. So we are open for questions if there are any.
Well, can I just say thank you very much. Very, very, very interesting to see that. I'm doing a lot of Orchestrator work myself at the moment, and some of the workflows that I just glimpsed in there, they're obviously quite complicated. And I think whilst we'll wait and see if anyone else has got any questions, just curious, how do you handle any failures that occur during any of those workflows? You know, is there any sort of rollback that happens automatically if there is a failure, or does it require more manual steps to troubleshoot if something goes wrong?
At the moment, as this is the very first version of that tool, it's not very fine-tuned yet. So the honest answer is that it actually depends on what component exactly fails.
Goes wrong.
In some cases, just restarting the workflow and starting from all over helps. On some steps, for example, if something related with storage manipulation fails, for example, if something fails during the storage switchover, then usually manual intervention is also required. But we are constantly improving the tool and making it more, how to say, foolproof or more tolerant to the different kind of failures that can occur during the process. But at the moment, it's it depends. It depends what exactly fails.
Yeah, I noticed you had some setup workflows that you kind of ran through. Do any of those store information in any sort of database repository or anything like that, or what exactly are those doing? You know, are you using a SQL database, for example, to store anything in, or is everything purely based within the workflows?
Yes, we store information because we need some information for us during, for example, in case of failover. In case of migration, it's quite easy. We can read information from the source site and apply this information to the target site. But in case of failover, when source site has crashed, we need some information to be stored in advance to make this failover available. This particular version doesn't use any external databases. We are using currently vCO configuration items to store all needed information about full-blown desktop locations and their UIDs and that kind of information that we need. And we will place it to the configuration items, which basically stores them to the Orchestrator database. But we are thinking already about next version, and it might be that in future releases we will also introduce separate external database to store that information. It depends. Our research and development currently tests how those VMware configuration items perform in bigger environments. For example, in case you have 10,000 desktops, whether the configuration items are suitable to store information or not.
Okay. I have one other question. Obviously, presumably you must be automating the configuration of the connection servers to register the various pools and things like your VIP machines and your manual machines with the right connection server. How is the from a user experience, how is the failover handled? Do you do simply a DNS change so that they still use the same host name to connect their view client to, or is that all automated as well?
It actually, again, depends. This particular version here, for this particular customer, for whom we developed that, they have those two data centers quite close to each other with dedicated 10G links between those data centers. And from the network perspective, they can be considered as the single data center. And in this solution, we are using View servers in replica mode. So we are sharing the View configuration between data centers because they are not working over the WAN, but they are close to each other. But in case there are totally separate View environments, then yes, DNS manipulation is one option. We currently don't have pre-built workflows to handle that yet, but it's quite easily adjustable or addable step into the workflow. So either kind of load balancers or DNS manipulation, there are actually multiple options available.
Excellent. Anyone else got any questions they want to ask? I haven't seen any come in, but not seeing anything come in. So just want to say thank you very much indeed. That was certainly an excellent demonstration, and certainly shows off some of the power of vCO, and as you say quite rightly, there's so much more that it can do. You're almost limited only by imagination, I suppose. But thank you very much indeed, Kaido, Yannick. It's been very informative, very interesting, and we look forward to having you back next week when I believe I've lost my email. I believe you're doing another session, vCO related. Can you remind us what the topic is?
The next week the topic is about cooperation between vCO developers. We have developed a tool called vFlower, which allows vCO developers to exchange vCO workflows or vCO packages as the open source code, and to store vCO workflows as open source code to the remote repositories such as GitHub, for example, to share and cooperate.
Brilliant. Sounds good. I look forward to it. So thank you very much indeed. Have a pleasant evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.